Hello, students. Let's say we want to use ChatGPT to analyze the spring schedule of the college. I came here and I clicked, even we can analyze a college catalog, which is, let's say, 200 pages. I click here, and this is the spring schedule, for example, and I can click here and download it. In fact, I downloaded the file and then I click here just to save time. I download it. It is right in here. And here is the schedule. And let's hope it uploads quickly. That way I can, here it is. It uploads that here. And then I want to know what classes Mrs. Murphy is teaching. As you all know, and as you can all see, Miss Murphy is teaching two classes or here. This is her name. But I have to scroll in other places because it might be so time consuming. For that reason, I can come back again to my chat GPT and say, find the courses that S. Murphy is teaching. And I click search. And there it is looking at the schedule. It might be thousands of pages. There it is. It found accounting and she is teaching this. Do you see how nicely it went through the schedule and found all of them and put them together? And another thing is that you might be interested in knowing who teaches math, who teaches the math classes, and it will go again to that schedule and look at the math classes. It knows what classes are math. It knows, let's say, algebra is math, statistics is math. Here there it is, math. Nikki Chandler and Chandler, math 121, Kay Branson. And then I want to know how many credit hours. Let's say we have an instructor who is teaching a lot of credit hours and he is getting a lot of money because he is teaching a lot of classes. That is, for example, ATT. ATT is auto tech courses. And let's see if I can find those classes in here. And here is okay. And here are other ATT. Let's see, it is maybe at the end of the schedule, and it's somewhere here. A lot of classes is taught by one instructor. Let me find it. Math, political science, psychology. Here they are. Do you see how many ATT classes one instructor whose name is Jay Kreitz is teaching? And imagine each one of them is 4 credits, CR credits. And these are maybe seven times 4 is 28. If we pay this instructor a lot of money, imagine in our organization, we want to make sure the employees are not making a lot of money. If, for example, you are a manager and you want to know who makes the most money, you come here and say that we pay $500 per credit hour. Which instructor makes the most money? Now we might have 500 instructors. Let's see if it can go and find Jay Kreitz. It is finding Miss Murphy. Look at here, Katie Branson. It is only went, it thought that we are, thinking about just Miss Murphy and Miss Branson. I said, look at all the spring schedule and let me know, oops, who makes the most. Let's see if it can find Jay Kreitz. And now it has to go and look at the entire schedule. And let's see, it already calculated how much. Of course, we pay full-time instructors more, but we want to know if it can recognize that Jay Kreitz is teaching the highest. There we go. Do you see that? It clearly understood, and it is going to tell us. Imagine if you are a manager of the organization and it categorized, how much Miss Murphy is it. The reason I say that is that this is a great tool for you to if you are working for an organization, to do the analysis. You can give your taxes, for example. Of course, you don't need to post it on the discussion board in the past several years and say, do you tell me in which year I paid the highest taxes? Or anything you can say, think about. You can give the insurance of your car and say, what are the problems with this insurance? And let this chat GPT to analyze it. Of course, sometimes it makes mistake. What I'll do, I am going to go and post this one on the discussion board and tell this on the discussion board, I use ChatGPT to do this analysis for me. I downloaded the PDF file of the college and I did this research for me and I posted. I want you to do the similar thing. As I said, you don't need to post your personal things in terms of your social security or whatever you want, something to show that you understood how you can utilize ChatGPT to analyze. So I told you it might be able to examine the X-ray. Yeah, it's already doing it. Some people, the doctors are supposed to read the X-ray, and suddenly you see ChatGPT might be able to do that. Therefore, this is a great exercise. The goal is to make sure you understood how to utilize AI once you graduate at work and in everywhere, anywhere you work. It is a great tool to be familiar with.